I've had the Interceptor 650 for quite some time. I have ridden this bike in almost every weather condition imaginable: rain, hailstorm, snow when I went touring, and it still never gave me any problems. It has been my daily commuter ever since I bought the motorcycle. No problems up until now.
Ever since I got the new Himalayan, I was riding the Interceptor 650 on alternate days. However, one fine day I took the bike for a ride where it started all fine, and the very next day it just refused to start. Obviously something was wrong. And I know for a fact that unlike places outside of India where people usually store their motorcycles for winters, motorcycles here are a necessity, despite the weather conditions they are being ridden in. So winters or not, the motorcycle will start because either they have a kickstart to them or a little push does the trick. Since the Interceptor does not have a kickstart to it, and even with pushing, the bike didn't start, naturally I had to YouTube the solution as to what could be the problem. And I was overwhelmed with responses like it can be the fuel pump, it could be a relay issue, you have installed a USB accessory that can cause electricity leakage, faulty spark plugs and whatnot. And then I remembered that I had fixed the relays on my bike when I had installed the 4-pin relays a few months back. So that can't be the issue, because I maintain my bike meticulously well. I came across all reasons except for the obvious one, and that was the battery had run its due course. So I took the battery to the nearest mechanic and asked him to charge it overnight. Reason being, I know that most batteries have a charge decay, and over a period of time, they just naturally lose their charge. Think about it. Most motorcycles nowadays have an electric start, electronic fuel injection. The headlight, thanks to the government mandate, has to be on all the time, once it is running on the road, that is. All of this has a cumulative effect on the battery, and it eventually gives up. And when the mechanic told me that the battery didn't start even after putting it on charge overnight, I knew for sure that it was time to change the battery. I also contemplated getting a lithium-ion battery. The advantage is, it can really help with the weight savings. A lithium battery will weigh about 1 kilo as opposed to a dry lead battery, which can be around 5 kilos. I wanted to install an Amaron battery since that is what was installed on the bike in 2020. But I couldn't find it on either Amazon or anywhere locally. So I got this Dynex battery. It is also manufactured by Exide, the leading battery manufacturing company in India. It costs about 3,200 rupees and has a 2-year warranty. So this video will be on how to remove the battery and install it on your Interceptor 650 and your Continental GT 650. It is a fairly simple job and will take you about 10 minutes or so to do it yourself. And it is always handy to know a bit more about your motorcycle. You will need a 10mm spanner, a Phillips screwdriver and a 5mm Allen key, all of which are there in your toolkit that comes with the motorcycle. First, you will need to remove your right side panel using your key, and then remove your seat using the latch. Post that, you will need to remove your toolkit and the tray that holds it in place. This is held by 3 bolts, which can be opened using a 10mm spanner. And then you will need to remove the seat latch from the plastic tray. It takes a little effort to remove it, but it comes off easy. Now underneath this dirt, you can make out something red. That would be the positive terminal. A bit of cleaning was obvious on my part, but it is optional for you. Next, open the left side panel. And to speed things up, I used the GoPro lever instead of the bolt and washer that came with the bike. It is much easier this way. Once the lever is removed, pull the panel outward and then upwards to remove it completely. And this right here is the negative coupler. Disconnect this coupler. Since the electrical system on the Twins is a negative earth system, we would disconnect the negative terminal first, followed by the positive terminal. Now this would reveal the black rubber boot that can be identified as the negative terminal. and using the Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the negative terminal. You can also use a 10mm spanner in case you're having difficulties using the screwdriver that came with the toolkit, because it's short. Once that comes off, just make sure that it does not come in contact with any metal. Over on the right hand side, remove the rubber belt that holds the battery in place. Then unscrew the positive terminal. I will most definitely use this opportunity to do some cleaning, given that people rarely take the battery out regularly. And then the latch that holds the belt in place. This can be opened using a 5mm Allen key, the medium one. You can just loosen this nut and open it by hand, since this is not a threaded bolt and it comes off fairly easily. Now all that is left to do is to pull the battery out. This is the Amaron battery that came with my BS6 motorcycle. This is a valve-regulated acid battery, or VRLA for short, 12V and 12Ah battery. These are maintenance free. Bye bye old battery, and hello new battery. Now just follow the previous steps exactly in reverse to put everything back together. Remember to put the positive first and then the negative one. Start with the latch that holds the battery in place, 5mm Allen bolt. And now that the battery is secured in place, attach the positive terminal. The battery comes with the necessary bolts and the locking nut. Insert the locking nut in the battery terminal first, then place the positive terminal on top, and then insert the bolt and tighten it up using the Phillips screwdriver or a 10mm spanner. It takes some effort to keep the rubber boot from not coming in your way. However, this should not be a problem for you, since you don't have to make a video, unlike me. Most mechanics will also use an anti-rust grease on the battery. Since I now know how to open the battery, I'd rather not use that grease and avoid attracting more dust. There is already a rubber sleeve on it, and I don't go for pressure wash anyways, so cleanliness is the way. All done. Now, connect the negative terminal from the other side. It's the same thing. Insert the locking nut in the terminal. Place the negative terminal on top and insert the bolt and tighten it up. Now reconnect the negative coupler and try starting the bike. It took a few attempts to start the bike since this is a new battery and would require a small amount of charging, which will happen eventually when the bike is moving. Now, all that is left to do is to put the left side panel back on and secure it in place using the GoPro screw. Over to the other side, the rubber belt that hooks to the latch. Attach the seat releasing lever back to the plastic tool rack and secure the tool rack using the 3 bolts. Secure them by hand first and then by spanner. Put the tools back in the tool rack and secure it with the rubber sleeve. And lock the panel back. Then put your seat back and go for a short spin. This will give your battery that small charge which it needs initially, and post that it will roar back to life. I love it. I love it! Going forward, whenever I am touring on the new Himalayan, I will just disconnect the negative terminal from the battery so that it doesn't lose its charge and stays in a healthy condition. So there you have it, how to remove your battery and install a new one. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Do comment your suggestions as I read and respond to all. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, ride safe and be safe. Shri out.